Ain't this some shit? Pull up in the C-A-D-I.
All right, I got a little quick break. I'm actually jumping ahead for you, nephew. JMC 7278. You asked for the video on the Epicenter. I got one I'm gonna do for you real quick. So I'm gonna try to make this simple because we could talk about this Epicenter, forever, pretty much. And I can make it real complicated, and I don't want to do that. And I'm going to just try to make it real simple and put it in a nutshell. Now, if there's something that you want to know and I don't cover it or you have any more questions, I want you to do just like you did the first time. Hit me up and ask me the question. And I'm gonna do my best to answer it for you. Now, my experience with the Epicenter, I became aware of the Epicenters back in the early 90s. There was a guy in Little Rock, had a 80-something model Coupe de Ville Cadillac. And man, he used to come through beating. And so one of my partners, he knew the guy, and he said, man, he got the Epicenter up in there. At the time, I had never heard of it. I didn't know what he was talking about. And to be honest, I didn't even say anything about it to him. Like, what is that? It just like, because I was into music and I had music at the time. I actually had a Blazer at the time, a S10 Blazer with 215 kickers in it. And so I was definitely into music, man. I had a nice setup in my Blazer, and I thought that I was on point. And that's why it stuck to me when I heard him say Epicenter, because really the way it hit me was like, how haven't I heard about that? And that's why I'm glad you asked the question, or that's why you made the request for me to do a video on Epicenters, because I think that they should be more popular, a lot more popular than they are. I'm gonna say this too while I'm saying that. There's a lot of people out there who redoing these Epicenters, or reproducing or copying or trying to copy it, but audio control Epicenter is the original. They have patented technology in this audio control Epicenter that nobody else has. And I'm gonna tell you, in my opinion, if you're gonna do something like a bass reproduction Epicenter type of deal, I would go with Epicenter. There are some out there that's cheaper. I'm not gonna call any names out, but I'm gonna just say this. In my opinion, if this is what you are looking for, there's no substitute for the original audio control Epicenter. Okay, I want to talk about these knobs. Your setting knobs. You got wide and you got sweep. Now, to keep this simple, let's just say, without worrying about this first, let's focus on sweep. The sweep is basically your hertz settings. And right now, if you can see that dot, I got it about right there. That should be somewhere around 30 to 32 hertz. The lowest setting on this sweep is 27 hertz. The highest is 63. And so basically right now I got it set around 30, 32 hertz. Now, once you set that according to what your tune is on your subs or your sub box, now on your wide, now again, we can get so nerdy and technical and complicated and get to talking about octaves and and all of this stuff. I'm gonna try to keep it simple. This is how I do it. I set my sweep on the hertz according to what my setup is. Bump the camera, yeah. I set the sweep according to what my tuning is. And then you can really play with this. This is basically you are expanding the setting that you have already set on the sweep. You're expanding it. Now, in my opinion, I like to keep this low. I like punchy bass. I like tight, punchy bass. I like to keep that low. Again, what I would do, if you're not familiar with this, once you get this sweep set according to your hertz setting, you can play with this a little bit. You can kind of play with it. In my opinion, if you go too high, man, it's going to sound terrible. And again, when you go counterclockwise, it tightens the bass. It makes it more punchier. Then, of course, you got your inputs, outputs, RCA. You got your dash. This is your plug-in. It comes with a bass knob. Plugs in right here. Goes up to your dash just like any other bass knob. And then you got your remote 12 volt and ground on your connection here. Now, when the Epicenter is actually working, this will light up. It's got, I think, about 3 LEDs in there, and they'll light up when it's actually restoring bass. Now, again, this does not add any bass. It is a bass restoration. It restores bass that is lost in the original recording. Now, this Epicenter, in my opinion, is the best one to get, period. And what I mean by this one is audio control. They are the originators of this technology, and they have a patented technology in this particular device that the people who are trying to copy this device, now I'm not saying that there are not other bass restoration devices out there. I do not believe that they are of the same quality and the same, I don't think it's the same quality or that it has the same audio capabilities that the audio control Epicenter has. And again, I don't want to go on and on and on. We can also open this up, and there's about 5 other settings on the inside, such as grounds, and you can adjust voltage according to your amps voltage, and and I'm gonna go more in depth on this particular on this device. I just wanted to go ahead and get something up to kind of get you to where you kind of wrap your mind around it. And I'm pretty sure you've probably been looking at some other videos too, and pretty much getting it summed up. But to sum it up, if you are into music, and I believe that you are, I'm pretty sure you are, because you wouldn't be asking about this if you wasn't. I would say pull the trigger on it, man. Go ahead and get it. Figure out about what tone you got on your sub box. And again, just remember, the lowest setting is 27 hertz, the highest is 63, and you just figure out where your hertz setting is accordingly, and then you can kind of play with the sweep. If you get any alternator whine or something like that, it's got a ground setting on the inside, that's a whole nother video. So I'm gonna keep this one short, and I'm not going to just go on and on and on and on. So JMC 7278, I appreciate your nephew. Good question, man. And it helps to get the information out and help other people to, become aware, man, of these devices that I absolutely think, man, was ingenious, and I love them. And I know people like me, and I believe people like yourself will also love it. You in the bass and you listen to old school music, man, go get it. And I guarantee you, man, if something was to happen to your Epicenter, you'll go crazy, man. You'll be trying to figure out how quick can you get another one. JMC 7278, I appreciate you, nephew. Good looking, man. And I appreciate you watching my videos, comment, man. And if there's anything else that you got, hit me up just like you did the first time, man. And as long as I can find the time to do it, man, I'm going to do it. People like you and Machiavellian from London, y'all the original followers, man. Y'all the OGs on my channel as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, that's VIP status as long as I can maintain it. You know, I do a lot of work. I've been working all day today on my center console in the Fleetwood. And then my jigsaw burnt up on me. It was old as hell. So, I mean, so now I had to shut that down. And now first thing in the morning, I got to run and go get a new jigsaw so I can, you know, take back off on that project. Machiavellian from London. I heard what you said when you said what you said, and I'm going to put that video together for you. It's gonna take me a minute because you know, editing and all of that. It takes a little while, and I do it when I get in the evening time. So sometime I say within the next week, I'm gonna try to have your video ready, and I'm working on my homeboy from Detroit Rod with that '66 convertible. Got some real good audio tips for you convertible car riders out there, and so I'll be looking forward to that. Nephew, shout out to you, man. Much love. Machiavellian, much love. Whip Game TV, and I'm gone.
Try get the Cadillac, the house into wide. This shit ain't the whole stay we wait up in my ride. I try get the Cadillac, the house into. True to the gizang.